Think horror movies are brutal? History laughed, then invented punishments so insane they make Saw look PG. Now picture this. No lawyers, no appeals, just a ruler with a creative streak straight out of hell. Instead of guilty or not guilty, your options were 1. Fire, 2. Bugs, 3. Or something so bizarre you'd swear it was written by Quentin Tarantino's evil twin. And the wild part? These punishments weren't just about ending your life. That would have been merciful. They were about dragging it out, humiliating you, and, most importantly, putting on a show for the crowd. Because before TikTok, before Netflix, the original viral content was watching someone suffer in the town square. The real question isn't just what happened to them. The question is, why did humans keep inventing new ways to hurt each other? Number 1. The Brazen Bull, Ancient Sicily. 500 BC. Meet Phalaris, the tyrant of Ecrigas. A man who apparently looked at execution and thought, this could use better sound design. His solution? The Brazen Bull. On the outside, it was a giant bronze statue. On the inside, a hollow chamber for unlucky humans. Once a prisoner was shoved inside, a fire was lit below, slowly turning the bull into a screaming oven. But here's the nightmare detail. The bull's head wasn't solid. It had an acoustic system that transformed human screams into the roaring bellows of a beast. Death, remixed into surround sound. The crowd loved it. This wasn't just punishment. It was theater. A twisted Netflix special, Ancient Edition. And karma? It came full circle. Legends say Phalaris himself eventually got roasted in his own invention. If the Brazen Bull was punishment by fire and sound, the next one was punishment by time itself. What happens when your death doesn't last minutes, but days? Number 2. Scaphism Persia. Somewhere between legend and nightmare. Scaphism, also called the boats. Imagine being turned into a living buffet. The victim was sandwiched between 2 hollow logs, arms and legs sticking out. Then they were smeared with milk and honey. Not a spa treatment, but bait. Why? Because the goal wasn't quick death. The goal was slow decay. They were left floating in stagnant water, swarmed by insects. Flies, mosquitoes, maggots. Nature itself became the executioner. Ancient writers claimed some victims lasted more than a week. 7 days of blistering sun, dehydration, and the crawling horror of being slowly eaten alive. It wasn't just death, it was spectacle. A message: betray the empire, and even mosquitoes will turn against you. But if scaphism shows nature's cruelty, the next punishment proves humans can weaponize psychology just as effectively. What if your punishment didn't destroy your body, but your mind? Number 3. The Iron Mask. France, 17th century. We all know about dungeons. But what if prison wasn't the punishment? What if it was anonymity? The tale goes that Louis XIV kept a mysterious prisoner locked away for decades, forced to wear an iron mask that hid his face forever. The real identity? A political prisoner? A relative? Maybe even a twin brother? Nobody knows. That's the torture. Erasure. Imagine being alive, but unrecognizable. No name, no face, no story. Just a rumor that survives while your identity rots. It's the opposite of execution. Instead of ending you, it deletes you. You don't die, you're forgotten. But if the Iron Mask weaponized mystery, the next punishment weaponized humiliation. What if your death was staged as comedy? Number 4. The Drunkard's Cloak. 17th century Europe loved a good laugh, even at someone else's expense. Public drunkenness wasn't punished with fines or jail. Nope. Enter the Drunkard's Cloak. The condemned was shoved into a giant wooden barrel with holes for the arms, legs, and head. Then they were marched through the town square. The sight? Ridiculous. The humiliation? Complete. Children laughed, neighbors mocked, reputations crumbled. It didn't kill you, but it socially executed you. A living meme before memes existed. But humiliation was just the appetizer. Because the next punishment wasn't funny at all. It was icy, relentless. And it came from Russia. What if punishment meant freezing to death? Slowly. Number 5. Siberian exile. Forget prisons. Tsarist Russia had a better idea. Exile. Step 1. Arrest someone who annoyed the crown. Step 2. Ship them thousands of miles to Siberia. Step 3. Let nature finish the job. The journey alone killed many. Those who survived faced brutal cold, starvation, and isolation. Imagine being dumped into an endless snowfield, left to either adapt or vanish. It wasn't just punishment, it was erasure. Exile meant you weren't dead, but you were dead to society. And if Siberia was about cold and isolation, the next punishment was about heat and chaos. What if your execution was designed to entertain thousands, like a deadly sports event? Number 6. Damnatio ad bestias Rome knew how to party. And by party, I mean execution as live entertainment. Damnatio ad bestias literally means condemnation to beasts. Criminals, slaves, or enemies of the state were tossed into arenas with wild animals. Picture lions tearing into humans, while the crowd cheered like it was the Super Bowl halftime show. This wasn't punishment. It was a public service announcement. Don't mess with Rome. And the worst part? People bought tickets. Entire families showed up. Execution wasn't hidden. It was primetime entertainment. But if Rome turned death into sport, the next punishment turned it into science. What if your body became a laboratory experiment in pain? Number 7. Chinese lingqi, death by 1,000 cuts. Also known as slow slicing. The condemned was tied up, and the executioner cut them piece by piece. Not fast, not merciful, slowly. Each cut meant to prolong life, not end it. The philosophy behind it? Your crime deserved not just death, but the maximum possible division of your existence. A symbolic destruction. By the end, you weren't a person anymore. You were fragments. It terrified enemies, cemented imperial authority, and scarred cultural memory for centuries. But even this wasn't the peak, because the next punishment didn't just cut your body, it tried to crush your soul. What if your punishment meant endless repetition? Work without end. Number 8. The treadmill, Victorian England. Prisons here loved efficiency. Why waste labor when punishment could double as productivity? Enter the treadwheel, an early ancestor of the treadmill you hate at the gym. Except this one wasn't for cardio. It was punishment disguised as work. Prisoners were forced to walk a massive wheel for hours, sometimes up to 10 hours a day. Step after step, going nowhere. The goal wasn't fitness. It was monotony, exhaustion, psychological torture. The wheel powered mills, but the real product was despair. And if the treadmill was soul-crushing labor, the final punishment is pure existential terror. What if punishment wasn't about death at all, but about eternal suffering? Number 9. The worst punishment, oblivion. Here's the chilling truth. The worst punishment isn't fire, beasts, or torture devices. It's being erased, forgotten, reduced to nothing. Ancient Egyptians practiced damnatio memoriae, condemnation of memory. Instead of killing you, they deleted you. Your name scratched from monuments, your story wiped from history, as if you never lived. Because what's worse than pain? Oblivion. A life so thoroughly erased that future generations don't even know you existed. And in a way, isn't that the punishment we all fear most? History proves the deadliest punishment isn't how you die, but how you're remembered. Pain ends, memory doesn't. And sometimes, being forgotten is the cruelest sentence of all.